Okay, the question for you today is why do people smoke crack? I haven't been smoking crack. Why do people smoke crack cocaine? I mean, everyone knows that cocaine and heroin and I don't know, all these class whatever addictive substances will kill you. But some people try them, some people use them, and many people who use them are addicted to them. Why do they do it? When I ask students this, they give me all sorts of good answers, like, well, it's addictive, so that's why they continue, because it's highly addictive. That's exactly right. Because they have a void in their life, and they're trying to fill it somehow. That's exactly right, I'm sure. Because their friends are doing it, and there's, peer pressure, it's right. Curiosity, yeah, okay, so they try it for curiosity. What is it, though, about smoking crack that's so powerful? I know that hopefully none of you, and I have never used crack cocaine, but it seems obvious that it has a lot of power over people. What is that power? And then we'll connect this with management in the end, but bear with me for a second. People smoke crack because it's got qualities to it, and it's similar to video game and another example that I'll tell you about in just a minute. So crack is a good feeling when you smoke it. It gives you a good feeling. And all things equal, if I have an opportunity to do something, all things equal, that is going to make me feel good versus something that's not going to make me feel good, neutral, or going to make me feel bad, I'm going to choose the thing that makes me feel good, aren't you? That's obvious. We do that all day, every day in our lives. We pursue the things that are most rewarding to us, make us feel good. Of those things that are positive, we're most compelled to do those things that give us that positive feeling immediately. And crack does that. Or heroin, you shoot it up, or whatever. It doesn't, it's not a delayed response. You smoke the crack, or you inject the cocaine, and you are high. So it's immediate. We prefer things that are immediate response to our environment, not delayed. That's why we don't save for retirement when we're 19 usually, because at 19, 65 seems like, the end of your life. When we get to be 50 or 55 years old, then we start to see 65 as a part of our life, and we start to save, and the average American starts to seriously save for retirement at about age 50. And I think that's because it doesn't have an immediacy to it. We just don't see it as our near-term future. So we'd rather buy a new car, a bigger house, or whatever. We procrastinate that. Big problem for us. Positive versus negative or neutral. Immediate versus delayed. And the effects are certain. So another reason I don't save for retirement is because I don't know if I'm going to reap the benefits of my retirement savings. I might die early, and then I don't reap any benefits. Live today, that's immediate, and that's certain that I'm alive today. But tomorrow, I don't know. So when something is certain, like use of illicit drugs, if you inject real heroin or if you smoke real crack, you get the high, and you get it immediately. Positive, immediate, certain. Video games are another example. Video games are addictive. They're built with addictive dimensions to them. Designers build them. They know how humans get compulsions and cravings to try something newer, and they build it into their video games. So remember Pac-Man, the old game, that we've all seen before. Even like the music as you go from one level to another, or at certain levels like level 10 or something, where Miss Pac-Man comes out and all of a sudden the screens change and the flashes of light become more repetitive, more recurrent. And of course the little sound that Pac-Man makes as he's eating the dots and goes around, and then when he hits the big dot in the corner, it goes, all that's louder, faster for each subsequent round. And that's kind of encouraging us, like, you're doing it, here's more reward, here's more reward, here's more reward, to keep us playing. When I used to play, we'd play with quarters at the video store, video arcade, And so it was expensive. Each time you'd play, you'd have to put a quarter in, which for me was a lot. And when you got to level 10 or something and you died because you ran out of new lives, it would sort of count down from 20 or 30 down. And you had that much time to put another quarter in to keep where you were in that level to go further. That's all addictive. It's an addictive conspiracy to get a kid to put another quarter in because they understand the nature of human behavior. More than most managers do, I think. Video game builders have an understanding of human behavior that we ought to learn from. Now, if you have children in the room, and I ask that you put your headphones on or, just wait to watch the rest of this video until they're not around. And if you're a sensitive person to talking about sexuality or something, please just turn your sensitivity down. This isn't really about sexuality, but I want to use an example of pornography, and because I think it's really powerful, and it's something that most people can relate to just because they either know someone or they themselves have viewed or been involved in pornography one way or another. And we can all sort of, even if neither of those are true, we can still see the truth in this example. Pornography is highly addictive. It always has been. It's highly addictive because you get a positive reward, not negative. It doesn't hurt to view illicit images or illicit videos. It's not painful. It's immediate. So as soon as we open a magazine or look on the internet or something, then we have access to it. And it's a certain response. It's a known and certain response to experience that kind of what I'll call vicarious sexual pleasure of whatever sort. So people get really addicted to pornography, but in addition, and I did some research on this because I found it really fascinating, internet pornography addiction is more powerful than, say, the old, there was no internet when I was growing up, so there were magazines, Playboy, Penthouse, whatever, and images, hard copy images. It's more powerful because you have so much more control over it. Think about surfing YouTube or something. If you're following even the news or anything, and you click to watch a broadcast, and if it's boring, you hit the back button or you hit some link, and you really can keep the level of stimulation high. You can find those things that are rewarding just to you and not necessarily, uniquely to you, you find interesting. So you're getting a positive reward much more frequently because you're combing through content. And the same with pornography, which is already addictive because you're getting that vicarious sexual pleasure from your viewing or whatever. So it compounds the effects of that addictive nature. Now, you can bring the kids back in the room. That's the end of my illicit discussion. I hope it didn't offend anyone. But I really think it's grown-ups need to be grown-ups when we're talking about things that can help us to understand a phenomenon, learn from it. These picks, positive, immediate, and certain elements of rewards are so important that I'm going to advocate to you that you become a crack manager. A crack manager is someone who knows the people that work for him or her, knows their needs, wants, desires, interests, and what makes them tick a little bit, something about them, what their interests are, what they would find rewarding, how to communicate with them in a way that's deep and effective. This one reward, a reward for one person is not a reward to another person. Some people are really gregarious, and if I were a manager and I said, oh, let's bring Jane up here. Jane has achieved something great, and let's give her a round of applause. Jane, would you like to say a word or two? For Jane, that might be wonderful because she's gregarious and she just really appreciates the attention, the applause, and the admiration of everyone in the room and so forth. John might be shy or have other dimensions of his personality where if I called him out and said, John has accomplished this, come on forward, John might be really embarrassed by that and really not find that rewarding at all. For John, it might be more effective to go to and say, hey, listen, bud, that was seriously awesome work, what you did. I don't know if you want me to bring it to attention. I would be happy to bring it to the attention of everyone, but, maybe that's not what you want or need. So everyone's different, and the rewards we give to everyone need to be tailored to their personality and what they will perceive as rewarding. Rewards, the reward value of something is determined by the person who receives it, not the person who gives it. If I give you $1,000, you determine whether that's rewarding or not. If you make $20,000 a year and I give you $1,000, it's likely that you'll very much appreciate. That's a large portion of what your annual income is after all. If you make $220,000 a year and I give you $1,000, it's much less likely that that $1,000 will have the same meaning to you. It's 1 out of 220 versus 1 out of 20 after all. And personalities are the same way. Some people like public recognition. Some people like when you joke about them. They find that endearing and positive. Others don't at all. It's our job as managers to know the types of things that reward people and to provide them with that. Now, I'm already at 11 minutes, so I know it's going long, but I want to explain to you how to be a crack dealer. And the first thing that I think that you need to recognize is that this is not my conspiracy. It's not of my making. I think this has been going on for a very long time. I think that although I made this example up, I think that in our society we must have known this for a long time. After all, think about it for a minute. If you take one of your pair of dress pants, or I even have like Lululemon pants that have this, and you put your hand down in one of your pockets, you have to check both pockets. Sometimes they're only on one side. Usually they're just in one side. Inside your pocket is this mysterious little space. It's a second pocket, a pocket inside a pocket. Or even if you're wearing jeans, almost all jeans, most jeans seems like, they have the pocket opening, but then above it, there's this little pocket. What in the hell is a little pocket for? It's for crack. This is where you keep your crack. You need a place. It's right there. All your dress pants, you keep the crack. What do you do with it? Well, you deal it. You give it away. Unlike a dealer on the street, you're giving away your crack for free because your payment is going to be through the goodwill, happiness, the lower absenteeism, the higher production rates of your employees, the better relationship you have with them, their willingness to, serve the organization as a good citizen. This is why we behave in this way. This is why we're crack dealers. A crack dealer knows what he or she has. Yes, women can be crack dealers too. If you're not, don't have one of those holes in your the second pocket in your pocket. You ever noticed, it's not the fad now, but you ever notice sometimes on ladies' shirts right here, there's a little tiny pocket. And I look at that and I'm like, what is the little pocket for? You could put a quarter in there. There's a tiny pocket right there on the lapel. What the heck? That's for crack. Just put your crack there. It's easily, quickly accessible, just like the pocket. Now, what do you do with this crack? Well, you give it away. How do you give it away? You give it away to everyone anytime someone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. 3 criteria I want to deliver here. What they're supposed to be doing. When they're supposed to be doing it. How they're supposed to be doing it. Here's the thing. That bucks conventional wisdom entirely. As a manager, if I see you doing your job the way you're supposed to be doing it, the way you're paid to do it, when you're supposed to be doing it, I don't come up and reward you or thank you for it. I say, you're doing your job. I'm too busy for this. But a crack manager has a different mentality. A crack manager says, here's an opportunity for me to give you a taste of what I've saved for you because I know you and I know the things that you like. And it might just be a word of encouragement. It might just be a private word of encouragement. It might be a little note on my little stationery. Or if you like Bugs Bunny, it might be a little picture I drew of Bugs Bunny saying, hey, great work. Something tailored to you because I know who you are. And that has a deep impact on a person because it's positive. You want to give those types of rewards right when the behavior is being admitted. You don't want to delay it. It's okay to delay a little bit, like if I have to run back to my office and get a picture of Bugs Bunny or something, fine. But you don't want to wait, 6 weeks or 8 weeks until that event is long over. Because the closer to the behavior that I can give the reward, the stronger the connection between behavior and reward. So the person senses more than intellectually, but knows on an almost emotional level, if I do my job well, and my manager sees it, doing my job the way I'm supposed to, when I'm supposed to, how I'm supposed to, manager recognizes it and says, great job. It's not just another day. One of the great criticisms of this, the most common criticisms that I don't think is valid, so I want to just address it, is that students will say, yeah, but if I give rewards that frequently, if I walk around and all the time or very frequently, when I see someone doing just their job, the way they're supposed to, when they're supposed to, how they're supposed to, they'll get so used to it because I'll be running around saying, hey, great job. Let me ask you this. You tell me, write me a little email and explain to me a scenario where you were in a work environment and someone or multiple people were genuinely searching out ways in which to reward you more and more. And you were receiving genuine, heartfelt, thoughtful, hey, good job. Thanks for that. Really exceptional, really outstanding, rock solid performance there. You tell me when that gets old and you've just had enough. Sports teams are great about this. I mean, I know like in football, they smack each other on the back or on the butt or whatever. They've got the fist bumps or whatever. Do you think they ever get tired of that? And they do a play, maybe it's just a 6-yard gain, a normal kind of gain, and but they held the ball, and so when they get up, there's a high five or good job. You think they're ever like, stop? Every play you're complimenting me on how I did. Every time I get any kind of, it just doesn't happen. This reality check here for you and for me and most everyone in this world. Even in modern America, the workplace is not such a happy area. We don't get rewards like that. Managers wait for exceptional circumstances where you're doing more than you're supposed to be doing it before you're supposed to be doing it in some exceptional way. When's the last time that you did something like that that would merit that kind of recognition, a recognition that you did a good job? Yeah, for me, it's like not every day, it's not every week, it's not every month. I don't know when the last time I did something truly exceptional was that I said, wow, someone should come along and say, good job. And even when I do something I think is exceptional, most times I don't get anyone recognizing it. So this idea that, hey, be careful how much you reward people because they'll get used to it, it'll diminish the reward value, and you'll be wasting your time. It's just nonsense. It's nuts. It's not in line with the experience that you and I've had in our lives. Reward people as much as you can, but make sure it's genuine. If you play a game with people and you have fake attaboys, fake encouragement, fake type rewards for people, they'll catch on to your game. That disgenuineness will really show and it'll backfire. But if you can learn who your employees are, make a real concerted effort to find out what types of things could you do uniquely for that person that would be encouraging to them, would be uplifting, that would be positive for them. Do it immediately and do it each and every time you can. I mean, you're busy with a lot of things, but do it as frequently as you can. If a manager's job is not to promote and uplift their employees, then what is it? What are you there for? Your job is not defined by the work you're doing. It's defined by the managing you're doing of those who are doing the work. And the primary function of a manager is to motivate employees. There's lots of other things, training and everything else, but motivating. So give this some thought. I'll edit this down a little bit. Hopefully it won't be so long, but manager as crack dealer. You won't go wrong if you take this philosophy into the workplace. You look for people to reward. And you don't even need to be a manager of others. You can just be a colleague or peer or even a subordinate, and you can encourage people above you if it's genuine. You just say, that was great, boss. Man, you were awesome. That was a great idea. How did you figure that out? There's a million different ways that you can reward people. So get busy doing it, okay? Because we all find work to be a little harder than it needs to be, and with far fewer rewards than ought to be. All right, thanks.